that I feel really is worth talking about, passed by this Congress. Remember, there's maybe nobody in the room old enough to remember Harry Truman as president, maybe a couple, but a lot of us learned about him in the history books. Yeah, oh, come on, you're not that old. And he ran in 1948 against what he called the Do-Nothing Congress, and I would say this is the Do-Nothinger Congress. 1st of December, and there's going to be a big debate and fight over which, if any, of those tax cuts get extended. And principally the debate has revolved around the upper income people, with the proposal that on income over $250,000 a year. Now, one thing people don't quite catch is it's only income over $250,000 a year, which means those people still get a tax break on their first $250,000 below the Clinton rates. It's only their income over $250,000 on which they would pay Clinton-era rates. This is what it would cost if the Bush tax cuts for over $250,000 income are extended for 10 years.
American Farm Bureau gives you only a rating of 11% as far as your vote record. And I'm wondering, with Oregon being highly agricultural, why you don't have a higher voting record for the agriculture industry.
Oregon State and things that are important to Oregon. The Farm Bureau is rating things that actually aren't important to agriculture in Oregon, like paying people not to farm. Guess what? We don't have people in Oregon who get paid not to farm. That's a huge cost. I am absolutely opposed to that.
Certain questions, and it's all
that's
limited
right.
your
And the Rose,
direction.
as Art says, the Roseburg Chamber of Commerce is in my pocket. I wish. He refused first the Roseburg Chamber. He says the League of Women Voters. Any members of the League of Women Voters here? There's one down back. Last time I checked, it's not a partisan organization. He says they're partisan. Nope. I've agreed to the same kinds of forums, but for civic groups and debates that the president, the governor, senators, and representatives do, which is a nonpartisan group. He wants to have debates on in front of the Tea Party. I don't think that's exactly a nonpartisan group, and they seem to have endorsed him. Americans for Prosperity, in every meeting he goes to for Americans for Prosperity, they say, call Dick Armey, who's a former majority leader in the House who works for the Koch brothers and runs Americans for Prosperity, and they send money to Art. So I'm supposed to go and do...
Open debate, sir, from both sides.
That's right, and that's what I've agreed to. I've agreed to 5, he's turned down 4, we'll see if he's got the guts to come to 1.
Because there are plenty of gas, there's plenty of oil, so not gas.
Questions about the excuses they use to jack up our oil prices here in the Northwest. And last spring it was a fire that happened in February at Cherry Point in Washington State, which we could, they'd known about, they were repairing it. But then Valero, who owns most of the refineries in California, just at the beginning of the driving season in May, said, oh, we have to take 7 of our refineries offline for routine maintenance. And now they declared a shortage. Well, the thing is, there wasn't a shortage. Did you ever drive into a gas station that didn't have gas? Did you ever see a red flag? And you're too young for that. We had green, yellow, and red flags back in the 70s. And I never saw even a yellow flag. So there was no real shortage, but it's a great excuse to drive up the price.
Can do to keep such nonsense out of the cesspool, our nation's capital?
Well, first off, I want to bring our troops home from Afghanistan. That saves, not only, I think we could stay there, as John McCain said a few years ago, 10,000 years, but he was talking about Iraq. We would not resolve their tribal conflicts, if we stayed forever. We went in there for a specific purpose. It's done. We got rid of the Taliban and we got rid of Osama bin Laden, the people who attacked us, and we should just leave a note pinned to the wall saying, look, if you guys do that again, we'll come back. It didn't take very many people. It was just special forces. We took you out. We'll take you out again, but you settle your own conflicts. I mean, we now have troops supposedly and police supposedly that we're training who are shooting our troops. Yes, and when he was in Congress, we programmed an increase in the retirement age to 67, and it's going a month a year. So we have all, he keeps saying, we should raise it to 67. I'm yelling on television, Joe, you were here. We've done that. It just isn't today. And so we're phasing it in. And I can't remember exactly what year. I think it's for the people born in the early 50s or mid 50s will go to age 67. So we've already set that. We're already moving towards 67 for full retirement. I don't want to go any higher than that. I supported a constitutional amendment to do away with the Electoral College. The sort of conventional wisdom is small states would be hurt by this, but I don't buy that. I think, just having one person, one vote across the country, I think we'd get more attention. I haven't seen either of the presidential candidates here, and they're probably not coming except to collect some money in Portland, because they're not looking at our electoral votes, but if they had to get our individual votes, they might show up. So I think it actually would work better for everybody if we did away with this arcane electoral college thing.